You have already walked past a millionaire today, maybe two, and not one of them gave you a single reason to look twice. You did not feel it happen. There was no signal, no shine, nothing your eyes were trained to catch. Real money makes almost no sound at all. He was the man in the plain grey jacket, waiting for the same bus as everyone else. She was the woman in the checkout line, counting out coupons for a cart of ordinary groceries. They blend into the background of your life so completely that your brain files them under nobody and moves on. That is not an accident. That is the whole point. Because the quietly rich do not look rich. They look like everyone else. And once you understand why, you start to see that looking ordinary is not something that happens to them by chance. It is something they choose, on purpose, every single day. This is how they actually live. Because wealth, the real kind, is almost always invisible. It is the part of a person you were never meant to see. And over the next few minutes, you are going to learn to see it anyway. The first thing to understand is what they spend their money on. The world thinks rich people buy expensive things. The quietly rich buy invisible things. When money comes in, it does not turn into a watch on the wrist or a badge on a car. It turns into ownership, a slice of a business, a piece of an index, a small apartment that someone else pays rent on. None of it can be seen from the street. While the loud spender turns his income into objects you can point at, the quiet one turns his into things you will never see, that quietly pay him while he sleeps. Look closely, and you will notice the pattern. The loud one is buying the feeling of being rich. The quiet one is buying the fact of it. One pays you in attention today, the other pays you in freedom for the rest of your life. And attention, it turns out, is the most expensive thing a person can buy. So when you look at the two of them standing side by side, you are not seeing two levels of wealth. You are seeing two completely different machines. One is built to be admired, the other is built to grow. And only one of them is still working when the lights go out. They keep things until they fall apart. The quietly rich are famous for one strange habit. They use things all the way up. The phone with the cracked corner, the coat that has been restitched twice, the car with 200,000 miles on it, still parked in the same spot every night. To the outside world, this looks like they cannot afford better. The truth is the opposite. They can afford almost anything. They just refuse to trade a working thing for a newer thing, simply because the newer thing would be seen. The object does its job. The job is done. There is nothing left to prove. Every object they own has to earn its place. A new thing has to be better, not simply newer, and almost nothing is actually better. So the old coat stays, the old car stays, and the money that would have replaced them quietly goes to work somewhere else. They automate the boring part. Here is something you would never notice watching them. The most important financial decision they make happens once, and then never again. On the day money arrives, a quiet transfer moves a piece of it out of reach, into savings, into investments, into the part of their life they do not touch. It happens automatically, in the background, before they can feel it or spend it. They are not relying on willpower at the end of the month. They remove the choice entirely. While everyone else is deciding, every single day, whether to save or to spend, the quiet ones already decided, one time, years ago. Willpower is a battery, and it drains. They know this. So they build a system that works even on the days they do not. The decision is made once, on a calm afternoon, and then it runs forever without them. They keep a small, quiet circle. Loud money attracts a crowd. There is an entourage, a group chat, a table full of people who appear the moment the spending starts. The quietly rich move the other way. Their circle is small. A few people who knew them before any of it, who do not care what they drive, who would tell them the truth. They are not collecting an audience. An audience is expensive, and it is loud, and it has opinions about how your money should look. They would rather have 4 people who are real than 400 who are watching. A crowd has to be fed. It wants dinners and trips and proof that you are still worth following. A real friend wants none of that. They just want you. And that is the strange arithmetic of it. 4 real people will make you richer than 400 who are only there for the show. They say no to almost everything. This is the habit nobody talks about, and it might be the most important one. The quietly rich say no constantly. No to the dinner, no to the trip, no to the upgrade, the opportunity, the can't-miss deal, the thing everyone else is buying. Not because they are cheap, and not because they cannot afford it, but because they have learned that every yes is a small leak. 100 small yeses is how an ordinary life quietly drains away. They protect their money and their time, the way you would protect something you know you can never get back. Because they know exactly that. Most people say yes by default, and no only when they have to. The quiet ones flipped it. No is the default. Yes has to earn its way past the door. They let you underestimate them. When the world assumes they have nothing, they do not correct it. They let the assumptions stand. There is a strange power in being underestimated, and they have learned to use it. Nobody asks the plain man for a loan. Nobody resents the quiet woman's success, because nobody knows about it. Nobody is trying to take from a person who appears to have nothing worth taking. Being underestimated is not an insult to them. It is a kind of armor, and they wear it on purpose, every day. Let people think you are ordinary, and they leave you alone. The plainest coat in the room is often the best disguise. They buy back their time, quietly. The one luxury the quietly rich actually allow themselves is the one you cannot see in a photograph. They buy their time back. The errand somebody else runs. The repair somebody else handles. The hour that used to be spent on something draining, now simply gone, handed off, freeing them to think, to rest, to work on the thing that actually matters. They are not buying time to show it off. They are buying it because time is the only thing money can purchase that you can never earn back. And they would rather own their afternoons than own anything you could photograph. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. Once you understand that, every spending decision quietly changes. An expensive watch tells the same time as a cheap one. But an afternoon that truly belongs to you tells you something a watch never can. They keep a boring routine. Watch a quietly rich person for a week, and you will be disappointed. Same coffee, same walk, same hours, at the same desk. The same simple dinner. There is no chaos, no spectacle, no constant reinvention. And that is exactly the point. The boring routine is the engine. It is the thing running underneath, quietly, while the loud life burns itself out trying to feel exciting. They traded the feeling of an exciting life for the reality of a free one. Most people will not make that trade. The quiet ones made it without blinking. Excitement is expensive. The new thing, the big night, the constant change. All of it costs money and energy and peace. Boring is cheap. Boring compounds. And boring, done for 20 years, quietly builds something that excitement never could. The loud life needs a new chapter every month, or it feels like nothing is happening. The quiet life looks like nothing is happening on purpose, while underneath, everything is. They never explain their money. You will never hear them justify a purchase, or brag about a return, or announce what something cost. Their finances are simply not a conversation. Not because they are hiding something shameful, but because they have nothing to perform. Money, to them, is a private tool, not a public statement. The moment you start explaining your money, you have made it about how it looks to other people. And the quietly rich decided, a long time ago, that they would never again let their money be about how it looks. The second your money becomes a story you tell, it stops being yours. It belongs to the audience now. The quiet ones keep the story to themselves, and so they keep the money too. And underneath all of it is the one thing that ties every habit together. They measure wealth in freedom, not in display. The loud version of money asks a single question. What will people think when they see this? The quiet version asks a different one. How much of my life do I get to keep? Every choice they make runs through that filter. The old car, the automatic transfer, the constant no, the small circle, the boring routine. None of it is about deprivation. All of it is about freedom. They are not giving things up. They are buying the one thing the loud life can never afford. The ability to wake up and owe nobody anything. Ask the loud question, and you will spend your whole life decorating a cage. Ask the quiet one, and slowly, year by year, the bars come down. Freedom is not loud. It almost never is. So the next time you walk down a busy street and your eyes slide right over the plainest person there, slow down for just a second. The flashiest people in the crowd are often the furthest from free. And the quietest one, the one you almost did not see, may already own the thing everyone else is still pretending to have. Most people will spend 40 years buying things to prove they made it, and never once feel like they did. The quiet ones skipped the proving and went straight to the freedom. They look like everyone else. That was always the plan. And by the time the world figures out who they really were, they are already long gone, quietly, exactly the way they arrived.